Okay, I think we may have this live thing going on. Awesome. It's so windy today, and my window does not want to do what it's told to, so there may be a little bit of background noise, but hopefully not too much. Okay, so this is you've got something to think about here if you'd like to before we get started. It said, why didn't the Romans use circle pieces in their mosaics? Have a little think about that whilst I just finish sorting stuff out for ya. You're also welcome to go on to Facebook whilst you're waiting if you've got it and say hi. There's a little post there you can say hi to. You can like and subscribe on here. That's always helpful. Always appreciate a little like and subscribe. I'm just going to go and get myself a little glass of water because hay fever has got me sneezing. Okay, I'm going to be with you. I'm just cutting something. Then I'll be with you. Okay. Good morning, Maxwell. Whoop, whoop. It's Friday. I love Friday. I get excited about Friday. I don't know why I love Friday. It's always been my favorite day of the week, and I still friggin' love Friday. Hello, my name is Ruth. This is Math in Art, my all ages maths lesson. That means that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can join in these lessons. We do not look at formal written maths during these lessons, but we will think deeply about maths and do some activities. And obviously, if it's maths in art, we're going to be doing some art activities. That works very well for me because I love both maths and art very, very much. And when they're combined, it makes me extra excited. So these are specially for home educators. We are a home educating family ourselves. I was a math teacher for, well, technically still am a math teacher, but I taught in schools for, I don't know, about 13 years or so. I was head of maths, loads of math knowledge, but I want to make sure that maths is super accessible to everyone and enjoyable for everyone. So we vote on the topics, and this term, just by a whisker, Maths in Art won over Maths in Dinosaurs, which means after the summer I definitely need to do Maths in Dinosaurs. And I am the sort of math teacher that gets questions asked of me by my husband, like, is it really a good use of your time, Ruth, to be painting in mosasaurs when you could be planning? And I say, yes, it is, because mosasaurs are important to my lesson, and you will find out why. So you had a question. Why is it that Romans did not use circle pieces in mosaics? So I don't know if you're au fait with mosaics. We've tried to do this with various different things in the past, and air dry clay it's not the easiest thing to do, actually. So mosaics were mostly made out of broken bits of pottery, but you can also find it made of pebbles as well. We have some in our local town that are gorgeous, made out of pebbles. Lots of answers I got about this on Facebook the other day, like pottery doesn't naturally break into circles. Well, interestingly, there's a good reason pottery doesn't break into circles, and it is linked to why you're unlikely to use circles in this, although we do see pebbles being used, which are kind of a curve. And that is because if we try and fit circles together, look what happens. We end up with these gappy bits, and at the moment they want gaps. You do get some gaps. It's not going to be perfect, but essentially mosaics is the idea behind it is to try and fit pieces together. Now, when you've got pebbles, you might notice pebble ones, they've got gaps and they have to be filled in with something in the middle. And that is because circles do not tessellate. They don't fit together perfectly without gaps. Tessellation means, and we're going to see tessellation in today's artwork, and you see it in all sorts of artworks. So it's, I say the word, is it Etcher, really famous artist who I can't pronounce for some reason, uses tessellation in loads of cool pieces of art. There's a really cool famous one where it goes from birds to fish gradually, which is kind of what I was trying to recreate with my mosasaurs, but yeah, I don't think anyone's paying me for that. So tessellation is where we've got shapes that fit together. So we've got some examples here. Look, so we've got some fish. A lot of mine end up looking like fish, so I was quite proud of my mosasaurs when it wasn't fish shaped. We've got some like pelicans here. We've got regular hexagons here, regular triangles here, all fitting together with no gaps in whatsoever. So it's only tessellation when there is absolutely no gaps. So circles do not tessellate. So you can use them in your pebbly mosaics if you want to, but don't you come into me telling me it's tessellation. Okay. Okay, right. So we're going to make our own tessellating art. I promise that. I asked you to bring some thick paper or a bit of card. I'm just using a bit of scrap card here. We're going to cut out a little square. So I'm going to use the corner of my card because it just makes it a little bit easier. We've got like a right angle there, and squares are made up of like 4 right angles. So I'm going to use the corner. If you want to use it in the middle, that's fine too. You just need like try your best to make it right angles. It's not the worst thing in the world if it's not exact, but it might not tessellate as well if it's not. Okay, so I'm going to just flip you down so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I've got my corner bit. I'm going to measure. We're going to have a 5 by 5 centimetre square. So I'm just going to measure 5 centimetres in from the edge here. Can you see? Oh, is that upside down for you guys? It is, isn't it? It's upside down. Let's turn you the right way up. I think that'll be easier to understand. Give me a sec. I'm trying to. Great. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to measure 5 centimetres like this so you can actually see the 5. Can you see? I'm going backwards because that is like kind of what my life ends up being like a lot of the time. The 5 is there, the 0 is here. I'm going to make a mark. So it's 5 centimetres. Yeah? Does that make sense? That makes sense? Hopefully it does. And then I'm going to go up the side, the 0 at the bottom, 5 centimetres here. And then from that mark I made here, I also want to measure 5 centimetres up. So make a little mark here, and then I can join those together. I've got a nice little square on my hands there. Why am I doing the stupid voices today? I don't know. Oh man. Sometimes there are days where I'd like to walk inside to my head and just remove certain elements of it. Today is one of those days. Right, so we've got a square, and what I'd like you to do, please, is cut that out. Cut it out super carefully. We want the whole square all joined together. And you're going to keep that and use that in a minute. The rest of the scrap card we do not need. So you can chuck that to one side and just keep the square bit. That is the important bit. Okay. Once you've got that, I'm going to show you the next bit, and then you've got some time to do it. So don't go rushing around panicking about this bit. Okay. You're just you can watch and then do in your own time. All right. We're going to choose one of the sides. It doesn't matter which one. And we're going to draw a little shape on it. Now, I'm going to stick to a simple shape because in my experience, the first time you do this, using a simpler shape is better. When, like, there are amazing examples of using more complex shapes that look really cool and it still works really, really well. Just bear in mind, if this is your first time, you may want to do a me, okay? But it's entirely up to you. We've got to cut this. We've got to be able to cut this shape out without destroying it at all, okay? So I'm going to choose a side. I'm going to choose, right, left and right. Give me a sec. Left, right, you're upside down. We're going to your left, your left. I'm going to draw a semicircle like that, going up to that corner. Okay, I'm going to colour mine in. You don't need to. This is just so you guys can see at home which bit I'm talking about. It's so I can talk about it. You don't need to colour it in. That's not essential at all. This bit here, we're going to cut out, but we're going to keep it that shape. So I'm going to cut really carefully along the edge of that without destroying the square or the semicircle. Both of those bits need to stay intact. So this is why I'm saying take your time on it. Don't feel you need to rush it because we want both of those bits to stay intact, and because we're going to use both of them. Okay, can you see I'm concentrating? This is my concentration face. I often stick my tongue out when I'm concentrating. I used to play netball when I was younger, and somebody observed me. I used to play in goal defence, so I was defending the goal. When I jumped up, that apparently when I jumped up, I would always stick my tongue out. Like the higher I went, the further my tongue would go out. And go, I don't know. So I try not to stick my tongue out when I'm concentrating now. But often my teeth come out instead. So we're going to cut it out so that you've got both bits and you keep both bits. Now I will tell you what to do with those in a minute. Whilst you're cutting those out, we're going to have a fun little game. This game is called Does It Tessellate? I'm going to show you a regular polygon. Right, so 2 words there that have got really key definitions. Regular means in mathematically, that wasn't a sentence. Let me think about that again. Mathematically speaking, regular means all the sides are the same length as each other. All the interior angles are the same. So on a square, have I got a square piece of paper to hand? Here we go. Yes, I have. On a square, this is a regular shape because all the sides are the same length as each other. If I have a rectangle, that is not a regular shape because all the sides are not the same. Okay. Then polygon means it's got straight sides. So if I was talking a circle, not a polygon, it's got to have only straight edges. Okay. We're going to guess, does it tessellate? Is it got regular tessellation? So regular tessellation is taking a regular shape and seeing if it tessellates on its own or not. Okay. So what do you think? What do you think about my regular triangle, also known as equilateral triangle? Does it tessellate? What do you think? Does an equilateral triangle tessellate? Ba, ba, ba. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. We can rotate it around. Look, you can see here I've turned it around in order to make it tessellate. I've changed the colour so you can see where the different triangles are. But yet there's no gaps whatsoever. We can look, they're all going around a point. There's a single point here. They all fit around. There's another one here. They all fit around. And I could keep going up. I could keep going across. I could keep going down. And I could continue tessellating that shape with no gaps forever and ever and ever if I wanted to. So that is regular tessellation. It's a regular polygon that tessellates entirely on its own. What about this one? We've got a pentagon here. Pent is, is it Greek or Latin for 5? Can't remember. Pent means 5 anyway. So we've got a 5-sided polygon. All those sides are the same length. Does it tessellate? Does it tessellate? I don't think this is going to be a game show, is it? I'm not going to make my fortune with this one. Keep thinking on it. Does it tessellate? We've only got 2 answers, yes or no. Well, is it actually, maybe I didn't phrase this brilliantly. Because if we look at this, there's a gap. That gap means that we've not got regular tessellation. We can't tessellate that pentagon on its own because we've got that gap there. However, we could fill that gap with another polygon, like a little triangle. You see, we could probably fit a nice little triangle in there, couldn't we? Squeeze one in there. And then we could make a nice tessellating pattern, but it's not regular tessellation. It is not regular tessellation. Okay, I promise I'm going to do this before. Don't panic. Does it tessellate? It's not ended yet. We've got more for you. I've got more. But let's go back to this. Hopefully you've got your square. You've got a bit that you cut out. Let's show you what you need to do next, all right? I know you're waiting for does it tessellate to start again. You're like, oh, man, I just want to carry on that game. So you've got your little bit that you cut out, and you need some tape or, well, tape is the only option really. And we're going to shift this bit here that we cut out to the other side. So it was on the left-hand side. We're going to move it onto the right-hand side. We're going to keep it facing the same way and in line with exactly where it was. So we want to line it up. Now, handily, I actually put mine right on the edge, but I don't usually. So I have to be more careful with my lining up. And then we're going to tape it in place really carefully. So we're going to tape that in place there so that we've created like a new little shape with an innie and an outie, an innie bit that sort of matches the outie bit. Not belly buttons, but shapes. Okay, so we've got like an innie bit and an outie bit. And now we're going to repeat that. Not exactly. We're just going to do it for the top and the bottom. We're going to draw another shape, say at the top, and cut that out and stick it to the bottom. Okay, you can play with this. Some people on Facebook said they'd done this when they went to school. I was like, oh my gosh, have I chosen a school activity to do? Turns out I just quite like it. It's a good fun activity to do, and it doesn't matter to me where it's done. But if you have done exactly this before, you can actually, this one's going to tessellate by going above, below, side to side. You can make ones that spin. So you could explore with how you could make it spin instead if you want to, which is quite cool. Quite cool. So with mine, I'm going to draw, what am I going to draw? On the bottom, I'm going to do like a little line, little rectangle there. Again, just so you guys can see it, I'm going to colour mine in, but that's not necessary. I'm going to cut that out really carefully. And I'm going to tape that in line with itself on the top up here. Okay, so I cut it out, line it up, and tape it down. And again, choose your own shape. I use triangles quite a lot usually. I've not used triangles today. I was trying to avoid them. I wanted it to be different. I don't want another mosasaur. I want something different today. Right, I know you've all been waiting for this. Final round. Does it tessellate? Are you ready for it? Does it tessellate? We've got us a regular hexagon. Are we going to get regular tessellation? If I try fitting those hexagons together, what do you think? Does it tessellate? Does it tessellate? And actually, I could be kind on this one. I'm going to let you think about it. And then I'm going to show you something, and you can decide whether you can stick with your original answer or if you want to change your mind. Okay, so I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. And then I'm going to show you a little picture, and you can either stick with your original answer or you have every right to change your mind at any point. Okay, that's absolutely fine and valid. Changing our minds is important. It's quite a skill actually to change your mind. Okay, so I just need to turn you around here so I can change my picture without seeing. Right, I'm going to show you my picture. Show you a picture without the words. Okay, don't look at the words. Don't look at the words. Here we go. Oh, look at these. Recognise those bad boys. Okay, everyone loves them. Everyone loves them. Friends told me a lovely story about bees the other day. I found a swarm of bees. We all got quite excited. Okay, what do we reckon? Any thoughts? Does a regular hexagon tessellate Yes or no? What do you reckon? What do you reckon, guys? Did you say yes or no? I know it's exciting stuff. Yes, we've got regular tessellation. Hexagons do give regular tessellation. They fit. Look, you can see a point here. We're all fitting in around this point. No gaps whatsoever, and I can fit one there and there and there and there and there and so on and so on and so on like that. And oh yeah, you're doing this. Are you doing this bit? We've stuck our bit on top and on the side. Yeah, you doing that? Good, good. Bees. Honeybees, they're clever animals that they are. They use hexagons because they're actually a super efficient shape. They give the biggest space inside them for the least amount of bits around the edge. So when they're creating the wax that they build all the honeycomb out of, it gives them maximum possible space inside for the little bee babies and for the honey, for the least amount of wax that they need to use to build the outside. That's why hexagons, you see them in nature all the time. They're super, super efficient shapes. They fit together, they tessellate, so they don't leave gaps where you don't want them. They'd have to, like the bees would have to fill all those gaps in with extra wax, which is extra energy. You also see, and it links back to our mosaics, like when you're breaking up pottery, you'll see it breaks up in straight lines. It doesn't break up in curves because that would be wasted energy. And you'll see lots of similar shapes. So often you do get hexagons with things like that too. How are we doing? How are we doing with our shape? Have you got anything? Well, yours won't look like this because you'll have chosen different shapes. Like I'll hold it up against something white so you can see mine. What's that going to be today, do you reckon? What is that? Is it a train? Does it look a bit, maybe a train, or do I turn it that way up? What's it then? I don't know, actually. Do it that way. Dalek! It's like a Dalek. I've forgotten what they say. Yeah, it's gone from my head. Okay, cool. Once you have got to that point, you may not be there yet. That's okay. I'll show you the next bit, and then you can join in exactly when you are ready. Exactly when you are ready. What we're going to do is we're going to draw around it. So this is where you need a piece of paper. I'm going to use a Sharpie because you guys can see it. It's probably best if you use a pencil. And then if you need to do any rubbing out, you can do. Because you can always go around it in black afterwards to make things stand out really clearly. Okay, so we're going to create our tessellating artwork. I'm going to just choose a random place to pop my tessellating shape here. If you want to tell me if you can see anything in particular in mine, if you think it looks like something, do pop a comment on Facebook and tell me, because I would love to know your thoughts. You always come up with way better things than me. I never see cool things like you guys. You're like super imaginative and stuff in ways that I can only dream of. Okay, here we go. Ooh, I was a bit nervous about doing that curve. See if it worked. Right, nice. That's my first one there. And then look what happens. It desolates. I just pop that there. Isn't that nice? It just fits nicely inside there. And then I can draw another one. Is it like an animal that's got one leg? Some funky animal with one leg. But then it's got like a dint in its head. It doesn't sound like it's doing very well, this animal, does it? It's a one-legged animal with a dint in its head. I've made myself snort now. Yeah, let's scrap that idea. That doesn't sound very good. Not very arty. I don't think anyone's going to be convinced by that. So then we can go above. We can tessellate above here. Like that. And like this. So, and we can go below. And then you've got to use your sort of imagination to see if you can turn it into something. So yeah, the comments I got on Facebook the other day about my other one, I'll show you in a second, a bit closer up, was that maybe it looked like a moose. Maybe it looked like a dinosaur. So we came up with moososaurs. And I thought, well, that sounds quite cool. So I've sort of, you can see my mosasaurs close up. The problem is with my mosasaurs that one's going one way and one's the other. Look, mosasaurs. So we've got like moose. I tried to do a mosasaur. Look, I gave it sharp teeth there. Moose going one way, dinosaurs going the other way. But then here, I just didn't have the heart to colour that one in and make it a moose that was having its nose bitten. I felt a bit sad for it. So yeah, I only did part of it. Maybe I just need to get over that for the art. It's one of those things I just need to power through. So yeah, have it, like draw it out, get a feel for it, and then have a little look, stand back a bit and think, what does it look like? What does it remind me of? I'm just not seeing anything. Oh, wait, is that a face? Oh, there's a face, isn't it? That's a nose. Oh, I've got it. It's a face. It's a face. We've got a nose. I'll give it a nostril. Oh, it's not a happy face. It's a grumpy face. It's a very grumpy. Look, I could do different types of faces as I go along. Grumpy face. And then we could have like a happy face or a surprised face for the next one. Ha! I could keep going like that. So this, oh, I've not done faces before. That's exciting. Anyway, Ruth, you're supposed to be teaching a lesson. Come on. So I talked about regular tessellation before. So we saw that not all regular shapes tessellate. Not on their own anyway. So let's have a little look at why that is. Why is it that some of our regular polygons tessellate? So like our equilateral triangle and a hexagon, but not the pentagon. Why doesn't that one tessellate? And in fact, we could, anything after a hexagon, if we keep adding sides on, so you get a septagon, octagon, and so on, you won't get any more tessellating ones as we increase the side lengths there. It's to do with this. It's to do with the turn. So do you remember I pointed out there's like a point that they went around, and then there's a point here, and we end up with this gap. Now, you can do this with me, or you can just watch, or you can do whatever you want, really. You can actually just leave whenever you want, because that's the genius of these lessons. It's totally optional. So when you are turning around points, so I am the point. I am the point. And if you are looking down from the top on my head, if I was pointing, say, for example, north, and I turn all the way around, and back to north again, I've turned through 360 degrees. That's how we will measure that turn. We measure it in something called degrees. And if I go all the way around, it doesn't matter which way, I turn 360 degrees, as long as I end up back at where I started. So if I went north, east, south, west, north, that's 360 degrees in total. But different polygons have different turns inside them. So if you look at the corner of a polygon, the internal angle is like the inside angle. Where's my shape again? So the internal angle is this bit up here, where it's the turn if the person was stood at the corner or the vertice there, and they turned from to facing the other way. And there's they're different sizes depending on the shape. And this is important with tessellation, actually. Because that determines if something will tessellate or not. We need to be able to complete a 160-degree turn in order to make shapes tessellate. So if we look at triangles, regular triangles, the turn within the corner, if there was a person stood here and they were facing along that line and they turned, so they were facing along this line here, they'd have turned 360 degrees. And actually, if I do 360 divided by that 60, I get 6. So you can see I've got 6 triangles here going around this point, and that gives us that 360 degrees. However, with my pentagon, this angle here that the person would turn, it's done a little skip thing. That should say 108. The 8 is bobbed down here. So that turn is 108. And when I do 360 divided by 108, I get 3.333. And these go on forever. It's called recurring, which means I get 3 pentagons and then a gap, which is less than the size of 108 degrees, which is this gap here. So if you can't make 360 degrees out of those angles, then you can't tessellate it. So you need another bit that fits in there that would give that extra bit. Okay, how are we doing with our tessellating pictures, guys? How are they going? Has anyone got anything else that I would love to see pictures that you have created. What are yours looking like? What are your pictures looking like? I would love to see some pictures. And would you have done something different on mine? Or do you think the faces are appropriate? I quite like the faces. I think I might have to like colour them in. I've got a pack of pencils. Well, my kids have got, let's say we share. Or sometimes reluctantly. I could, but they're all face colours. They're all different skin colours. So I could use those to colour these in and have different people, couldn't I? Feel like I need to add some hair though. They look a bit bold at the moment. Oh dear. Yeah, so you keep filling your page. With your picture. And yeah, it's quite cool actually if you fill a whole page. It's quite cool. I've done it before and it does look really cool, especially if you use different colours to colour them in. I like bright colours. I'm super attracted to very bright colours. But you do you. You've got to like colour it in the colours that suit you. Okay, we've got a quiz. You could do this whilst you're drawing. You could do this quiz whilst you're drawing if you want to. You can think the answers. You can shout out the answers. You can yell them, and I will try and hear them up here in Cumbria if I can. Or you could just like if you've got the workbook, you can. There's a bit where you can circle the answers if you want to. You can do it however you want, whatever suits you. It's just true or false. You're gonna true or false. I'm gonna say a statement. You're gonna say true or false. Okay. So if I said, I don't know, my face is green, you would say false. I'm checking the camera. No, my face is not green. My face definitely doesn't look green. Okay, so that's the questions are obviously going to be about tessellation, though, not if my face is green. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We've got it. Awesome. Right. So first one: circles tessellate. Circles tessellate. True or false? Circles tessellate. What do we think? It is false. Circles do not tessellate, not on their own anyway. You would need to like put something in the gaps. There can be gaps in shapes that truly tessellate. So there can be gaps, and that should say between shapes. There can be gaps between shapes that truly tessellate. There can be gaps between shapes. True or false? There can be gaps between shapes that truly tessellate. True or false? It is false. You don't want gaps between. You would need to fill it in with other shapes. So you would need to use other shapes. A full turn is 360 degrees. A full turn is 360 degrees. True or false? True or false? A full turn is 360 degrees. It is. That one is true. True. So think about turning from north all the way around to north again. I've got a little Lego person. I'll show you that with. I will do that. Yeah, let me get my Lego person so I don't forget to do that. Fourth one. A rectangle will tessellate. So I'm talking about on its own. If you just use rectangles, will they tessellate? If you only use rectangles, will they tessellate? A rectangle will tessellate on its own. That is true. They will tessellate. Yeah, because it's like squares essentially. Very similar to squares. I'll show you a little picture in a second. And you can't tessellate with curves. You can't tessellate with curves. Is that true or false? You can't tessellate with curves. Is that true or is it? can tessellate with curves. It is the way we're doing it. You saw me do it. Look. Just need to make sure that where there's an innie to fit it in. So you can tessellate with curves. And I said about the squares and the rectangles. So squares will fit together and you can rotate it around to fit it together, just like that, because they're all the same size. With a rectangle, it doesn't work like that because you've got one side that's longer than the other. So if I have a rectangle, I could go above and below, and I can go side to side, but I can't rotate it around because we're going to end up with a long side attached to a short side doing that. So it does tessellate. You can it's just in specific ways. I also said I would show you my little Lego man doing a turn so you can see. I think that helps sometimes. People like seeing Lego men do stuff. So if you imagine my little Lego man is facing north. So let's put him on a little compass. So this could be, let's do this. So we've got, this is north. Actually, is that north to you? No, let's do it upside. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let me draw it and then I'll turn it so it's facing the other way because I've just realized that I need to do it upside down. But I'm so bad with left and right that I have to do that way. Okay, so this is my little Lego man. My little Lego man is facing north. And we're going to turn him to face east, then south, then west, and then back to north again. And that is a turn of 360 degrees. Okay. The Lego man could start off facing south. So I'll stick his arms up. He's lost a hand. In fact, he's lost two hands. Ah, no. He could start facing south and turn all the way around to face south again. That would still be a turn of 360 degrees. Or he could start facing south and turn backwards. It's still a turn of 360 degrees. Okay, so that's what I mean by a full turn. That turning to face back the same way again, going all the way around. Okay, so thank you for joining me live today. That is the end of our live lesson. However, do not run away. Do not run away. If you would like to say hello on Facebook, please head there now. There's a post where you can say hi and I'll say hi back. I'm absolutely huge fan of Lara and Theatre of Science and we follow her and my kids absolutely love the saying hello bit. It's really important and it builds connection. It's really nice for me too to be able to build that connection with you guys because we're not like looking at each other and it's hard to interact, isn't it, when you're not got that like face contact. That's not what I meant. Eye contact. There we go. That's the normal phrase. These lessons are free. It's really important to me. They are free. We are a home ed family. When we started home ed, we gave up a huge amount of income and relied on free help from people. And I want to give back to my community in the same way. I make money by you guys choosing to opt into a low-cost monthly membership. So you can join the triangles for £5 a month and I'll send you my Math Mob memo, which is all about fractals, and you can find lots of hands-on activities, puzzles and building challenges and games in that will come through to the post with some origami paper and some funky stickers and an introduction to Math Mob Monkey. If you sign up for £6 a month, you become a square and you will also be able to download workbooks. Now, it's not for everyone to write in the lesson. I totally get that. But there are bits where you can do writing and drawing in the lesson if you want to. The really cool bit, in my opinion, is what my sister-in-law does for me. She's super, super creative. I need to print off one of the art ones, actually, because this doesn't do it justice, where she puts all the things you can explore at home in as well. And she actually is an artist, so she's got some of the most incredible ideas, and that's really cool too. So you can dive into those at home with links of things you can do online and other ideas to look at too. I'm going to see if anyone wants to say hi now. Always been a moment because you don't know until you look if anyone actually has it. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. Nearly sent something electronic into my coffee. That would have been good fun, wouldn't it? Right, so I need to go to Facebook and we'll have a little look. And you can start, I should have said where you can sign up. If you go on my Facebook page, there's like a blue button at the top. I think it's sign up or something like that. But on YouTube, where you're on now, there's like an About Me section where there's a link where you can sign up to the triangles or the squares. Right, let's have a little look. Yay! We've got some highs. Ah! We've got some epic pictures. Oh my gosh, is that Pikachu? Right, okay, don't get excited, Ruth. Calm down. Let's start from the top. Right. Hi from Bella. I think the Romans didn't use circle pieces in mosaics. The pottery they used were pieces of smashed vases and things like that. Bella, you are onto something there. Absolutely. Yeah, the vases wouldn't have naturally smashed up in circles at all. It would have, yeah, it just wasn't possible. They'd have had to do something to like actually make them into circles, wouldn't they? Absolutely, Bella. And also, hi, Bella. So nice to have you here. Oh, wait. Who have we got here? Chloe and Toby. Hello, Chloe and Toby. You think it looks like a train? Yes. Where is it? Where's my picture? Yeah, I totally see train. I think I'm going to do some faces going that way and then some trains way. What do you reckon? It does look like a train. I could do like puffs of smoke coming out of it, couldn't I? Definitely. Could it be train people? People train. I had a whole session earlier about trains, which I didn't intend to be about trains. So I seem to be on a theme today. Yeah, definitely see the trains. Hi, Aurelia. You're now, I'm now your primary maths resource. Yes, get in. I love being a resource. That makes me feel almost professional. Awesome. Yeah, feel free to tell others that. It's nice to have you here, Aurelia. Also, you've got ever such a, I don't know, it's a really nice name to say. It just sort of comes off the tongue really well. Aurelia. I like that a lot. Who else? Toby, your pictures. They are cool. I love the angry one in particular. And the crazy eyes. Can we see that on there? I don't know if you can see it very well. Can you see that on there? Oh, you'll have to go and look. They're epic. Very cool. Wow to Pikachu. For Oliver, that has worked well. Did you plan it to be Pikachu, or did you just like look at it and it looked like Pikachu? Because that looks like something that's almost planned to me. Can you see that? Pikachu. Did anyone used to do Joe Wicks? And he does like the Pikachu jump. Me and my kids really like that. It's exhausting though. Really, really tiring. Oliver, that is so cool. That is really, if you don't mind, I'm going to show my son that because he's a big Pokemon fan. So he'll think that's pretty cool too. He's also done this activity before, but he didn't end up with a Pokemon. Can't remember how it looked. Oh my gosh! Chloe, you actually turned yours into an actual picture of a train. I don't think the pencil shows up on here very well, unfortunately. Let me see what I can do. Can I make it so it will show? No, it just won't do it for me. Can we see that? No, it's just not being YouTube friendly. But I can see it. What you've taken your picture and then turned it into like train carriages and then put the sun and put the rails and put the smoke coming out of it. That's genius. I've never had anyone do that before, and I've done this maybe 5 times. Maybe not that many. I can't remember. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Dates in a really weird order, which is really annoying. So you can't always see what it says. Right, I think I'm going to just refresh because sometimes things come through, and just double check I've got them because I'd hate to miss any of your amazing pictures. If you do want to upload it later, that's also fine. That's okay too. I think it looks like a train. Awesome. Right. No, I think I've got them all. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week we're doing impossible shapes and impossible drawings inspired by Dali. So yeah, we'll have a look at that next week. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you either on Tuesday or Friday next week. Bye for now, guys.